Oh my gosh. You just pulled out my sunflower. Hey, no, son of a gun. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I thought I would go ahead and give us a late spring garden tour, show you how the garden's going. We've had a ton of rain over the last week, and today is probably one of the first days in a long line of days where it hasn't rained. So what better time than to take you out and take a look at the garden. Juniper, are you gonna help us look at the garden? Yeah, okay. Well, starting off, the brassicas are doing really well. So I've got my cabbages here. They're getting really close. In this bed, we've got some red acre cabbage. You can see there's been some cabbage worm damage, which has been really annoying. And it's been really hard to treat over the last several days just because of all the rain. So I did order some BT. It's gonna be coming soon. I've never used it before. So I'm really hopeful that it at least protects the cabbages so that I can actually get a harvest. In the past, when I've done cabbages, I don't know, usually it gets too hot and they just kind of wimp out, but this has been the first spring that I've actually had some successful looking cabbages. In this bed with these guys, I do have some other things interplanted within it. I've got some leeks going down the middle of the bed. You can see these here. Hindsight, I probably won't do that again. I don't know what I was thinking. I didn't realize my cabbages were gonna just be kind of toppling over these guys, but at the very least, once I harvest the cabbages, the leeks will have opportunity to actually grow. Once upon a time, I had some bok choy here. That's been harvested out, and now you can see I planted some squash. I believe it was yellow squash I put here, just kind of as another planting of squash. I've got it all over the garden, you'll see here in a moment, but this is going to be hopefully another round of squash. And then and underneath we've got some marigolds. I believe it's the African marigolds. I may be saying that wrong. Anyways, and then we've got some cilantro that's starting to grow. Here's another squash. I purchased these little cages for a couple of reasons. I was having a lot of pressure from squirrels digging up my starts, and I was having a lot of pressure from this puppy, Juniper. As you can see, she eats just about everything, and so she does not discriminate when it comes to my plants. And so when I've got a young seedling starting up, I want to give it kind of an opportunity to establish itself. So yeah, look, we've got a nice little bumblebee here. Yeah, I've got some beans in this bed as well, just some bush beans. I believe it's the Contender bush bean variety, just kind of interspersed planting. This bed's very similar to the other one. The only difference is we've got Carfax, I may be saying that wrong, cabbage. These are looking really great, getting super close to being able to harvest, but you can see here we're starting to get that cabbage worm pressure on the leaves. This one got eaten up real bad. I think it was a cutworm, but you can see here, you can see like that dark green, that's worm poop. So I've been just coming out trying to hand pick as much as possible. When these guys were really young, I did have row covers over these beds. They seemed to work really well, but then everything got tall. So for example, this curly leaf kale, which is doing great, but it just got too tall for the row covers, and so I took them off. I think next year what I'll end up doing is planting my kale somewhere else so that I can hopefully keep my cabbages covered a little bit longer, because the row covers do help. The only issue I had this year was I'd get some of the little crane flies stuck underneath the covers, and then the puppy here would pounce on the covers, and she broke a few of my early cabbage leaves off. So but hopefully next year she'll be able to calm down a little bit more. Right, Junie? Juniper? Some more marigolds, some more leeks, some more very sad looking cilantro that just got transplanted. I have some other cilantro in another bed that's gone to bolt. And so this is kind of just a second wave of that cilantro. Over here we've got in these big pots, I've got 3 different tomatillo plants, which are doing really well. This is my first year growing tomatillos. Super excited about that. Super pumped about the little bumblebee that comes in every day and pollinates them. I was getting worried there for a moment because I didn't see too many pollinators on them, but as you can see, they are creating the little husks here, and hopefully soon enough we'll be getting some fruit. And then in between my tomatillos here are a couple of Romas. So these are the Supremo Roma variety. Again, it's my first year planting these as well. They're determinate tomatoes, which is why we see them in these cages. So hopefully they won't get too much bigger. But as you can see, we've already started putting on some fruit, which is exciting. So I have never had a successful year with Romas. Last year was my first year trying, and they just didn't happen. This year I'm really hopeful to have some Romas, and then I can hopefully can some sauces and whatnot, because we love a good pasta sauce. Yeah. And then speaking of Romas, I'm hoping to have a second planting in these beds. Once I harvest out the cabbages in a few weeks, I do have some other Supremos started in my grow room inside the house. And then hopefully, you know, we've got such a long growing season here. Our first projected frost date isn't until mid-October. Hey, don't dig. No. First projected frost date's not till mid-October. And with these being a determinate variety, we should be able to get another crop out of it. So with a harvest, that's my hope. I am still very much a newbie, so we'll see. And then over here, we've got a variety of pots here. This is kind of ornamental with a few things interspersed. We've got, these are ground cherries related to the tomatillo family. These are so much fun to grow. I grew them last year for the first time, and I apologize, we have a very stressed out bird. But yeah, I grew these first time last year, and I did make a jam with them that was really yummy. I'm looking forward to doing some more of that. Oh, we've got a hawk. That's cool. Yeah. No wonder we got a stressed out bird. It's a hawk around here. Okay, back to the tour. We've got some oregano. This oregano I actually overwintered. It's in this tiny pot, so I was able to bring it into our sunroom. And I don't remember the variety. It's some kind of Greek variety. Anyways, but yeah, it's doing pretty well. And then I've got some flowers I started from seed. I've got petunias, and then some Chinese lanterns, which this is my first year growing flowers from seed, aside from like zinnias and cosmos and sunflowers. So that's been a lot of fun. I'm excited to see that. You can see here we've got a bloom on this petunia that's getting ready to happen. We also have here in this little hanging basket, it's my first time doing the petunias. I did not know that there were different types of petunias, and I assumed they were all the wave type, but these are not. These are more of a, I guess, a mounding variety. So knowing that in the future, I think I would plan for that a little bit better. But here we have the first big bed here. So this is a bed that is, I believe it's 4 feet wide. This big metal bed, it's 4 feet wide by 16 feet long. And then we've got a couple planters in front. This planter here, again, we see some more kale. There's actually about 3 varieties of kale that I planted this year. So we've been picking off of that. Got some nasturtiums, and then we have a round zucchini that's doing really well. And there's some more kale in this grow bag. If we go down the line on this side though, this is where I've got my indeterminate tomatoes are going to be trellised on this this rack. So you see here the first 2, and then interplanted we've got some basil and some more marigolds, but the first 2 are, oh geez, I'm blanking on the variety. Brandywines. These are brandywines. So these are big slicer tomatoes. That's why I put them on the kind of this far right side of this trellis, because the way our sun is, this is east, this is west. The plants kind of, you can even see with the garlic back behind, they're all kind of leaning this way. And because these guys are the big boys, they're gonna need the most sun. So, hey, stop eating my sunflowers. So yeah, so these guys are brandywines. I need to trim up the bottom leaves. I do some pruning, especially with all this rain. This guy I pruned off a lot. You can see here we need to take off. We've got some almost blight or something happening here. This guy didn't transplant well, and so I pruned off a majority of his leaves. I think that's why he's so stunted. But my hope is that he will rebound, bounce back. So he's the only one that hasn't been strapped to the trellis yet either. So then we've got a couple more. So this is a variety. This one and this one is another Roma variety. They are indeterminate. Again, difference between determinate and indeterminate, if you're new to gardening, is that the indeterminates, they grow for an indeterminate amount of time. So basically they will keep growing until you give them no more space to grow. Whereas a determinate variety tomato is only gonna grow to be so tall, they're only gonna set so much fruit, which is why I was able to plant those other Romas in those pots. But since these guys are indeterminates, we've got them trellised over here. Moving down the line, we've got a couple more varieties. So I've got two. I tried to plant two of each variety of tomatoes, just to give us plenty of the variety we like, and to test out some new ones. But this is the, oh shoot, blanking again. Brad's Atomic Grape. That's a new variety for me this year. So looking forward to that one. As we can see, the flowers, this is even putting on little baby fruits, so that's exciting. Tomatoes seem to be doing really well this year. Again, we've had so much rain. The only issue has been making sure these bottom leaves stay healthy. Once these put on a little bit more growth all across the trellis, I will be trimming up the bottom. What I typically do, at least I did last year, is I trim up the bottom up until here. That just helps promote the airflow, which kind of keeps the diseases at bay. Here in Southwest Missouri, Zone 6B, we have a lot of humidity in the summer, so humidity doesn't go well with tomatoes. They can get blight really easily, and they can be finicky about it. And so trying to keep that airflow to the best is what I'm striving for. And then the last two varieties here are golden cherry tomatoes, golden jubilee, maybe? Anyways, I'll put the variety on the screen. It's from Botanical Interests. It's another new variety for me. And these also look to be early producers, because we've got some tomatoes already starting, so that's exciting. I heard these are really, really good, so looking forward to those. And then down here, I left some space to try to do some autumn squash, some butternut squash. I did that last year. I had one grow up here and it did well. So I actually have three. I just dropped the seeds in and hoped for the best. But you can see we've got three here. These guys might be too close together, but I don't have the heart to pull them out. So I kind of just want to see what happens. And then coming back around here, I've got some more nasturtiums and some more basil. So we've got cinnamon and lemon basil back here. We've got some more basil here next to this marigold. This is the lettuce leaf basil. It's supposed to get really big, so that's new for me too. And looking forward to that. Hey, Juniper, no. Okay, so I don't know if anyone else's dog digs when you're out in the garden, but for whatever reason, both Banjo and Juniper seem to think that because I'm in the garden working in soil, they also need to be working in soil. And now your nose is brown. Juniper, I'm gonna have to wash your paws. Okay, so yeah, so this is broccoli, very sad lone broccoli. This used to be a bed of a bunch of broccoli, and then the squirrels came and dug them all up. And that was before I started using the critter cages. So hindsight, next time, critter cages. For whatever reason, squirrels this year, man, they have been really bad. And it's always around when it rains for some reason. So I don't know if they're just in the foraging mood or what, but hopefully this guy produces. It is starting to warm up here. Brassicas can be so finicky. Sometimes I have an okay year with brassicas, sometimes I don't, so we'll see. And then this is my first year doing both garlic and onions. Didn't get a ton of onions planted. Have no idea what I'm doing really. You guys can see these poor onions are kind of tipped over. They've been trampled by the dog. Again, next year I'm hoping she's old enough to know not to do that. But I mean, we do see bulbs happening, so that's kind of fun. Again, I don't know when these guys will be ready. I'm just kind of just watching them. I need to maybe read up more. Again, it's been a minute since I've watched other people harvest. Once these get harvested out, I will probably do more squash and okra. And then this is my garlic. So I've got 2 beds of garlic right here and here. First year growing garlic, really excited about this. These look great, I think. I don't know, you guys can tell me if they don't, but it does look like they are probably a few weeks out still from harvesting. This is a soft neck variety. My understanding is they do not put out scapes like a hard neck, and so instead I just kind of have to keep an eye on when the leaves start to die back, and we don't really see a whole lot of that. I mean, here's one maybe, but yeah, so I'm waiting for maybe half of the leaves to die back before being able to pull these out and harvest them. So once these get harvested though, again, I'm gonna probably I've got some okra started, and so I plan on planting those out here. So similar in this bed, we've got more garlic, some beans planted. When I harvest this garlic, I will be trying the Three Sisters method with some corn and pole beans and zucchini. Never done that method before, so we'll give it a shot and see how it goes. We have some more kale here in the front, another zucchini, round zucchini here, and then I've never done loofah, so I gave it its own spot. We'll see how that does. The idea is that it will maybe grow up this arch trellis, which would be really fun. So, but yeah, so going back this way too, in the very back, we have some squash plants. Again, I planted these by seed. They both came up. I don't have the heart to pick that small one, but I probably will end up doing that. And then my hope is to trellis these guys vertically. So that's why I've got these posts here. I still am waiting for zucchini to grow there, but and then we've got a melon here. So my thought is I'm just gonna let it sprawl out, do its thing. And then this is my big box. This box is where it started. So this is where my garden journey started years ago, about 4 years ago, I think. Now, 3 years. This is my 3rd year. But this was a box built with wood, just kind of like a wood privacy fence post. So it's a 6x6 box. Again, hindsight is 2020. The 6x6 is not a very user-friendly size. It makes it really difficult to get in and harvest anything in the middle. So that is why you see this giant chives plant in the middle, kind of taking that up, and then I've just been planting around it. But yeah, so this is where I kind of, first couple years I planted just in this box, and then obviously I've expanded a lot. So by the way, this is a 4x8 foot bed. This one and this one are matching. So but yeah, so this is, oh boy. Hey, what do you got? Can I have that? You want to give that to me? Nope. Oh my gosh. They don't call these guys assholes for nothing. Okay, so this bed has a whole variety of things. We've got beans, we've got some carrots, we've got bunching onions, we have some more leeks back there. Some melons. I have this trellis hoping the melons will go up it. Some pumpkin, dill. Oh gosh, what else? Oh, beets. I've never grown beets successfully. This is my first year. Problem is, I feel like the squirrels keep digging them out. Again, I'm blaming the squirrels for everything. But hey, we have like some baby bulbs. so that's exciting. Yeah, so kind of a chaotic box, but it's been fun. I need to thin these carrots out. I'll get to it eventually, but everything seems to be pretty happy. We'll see how the pumpkins and all that do. And then I'm back here. This is messy. It needs to be mulched, but this is an experiment section. I've got some sunflowers when the puppy's not eating them or whatever's been attacking them. I think they've been either hit with flea beetles or June bugs have been really bad this year, and some borage. But my hope is to see what is capable of growing in this space. It doesn't get a ton of sun, so if the sunflowers do okay, then that tells me maybe I can get away with some other stuff. If not, you know, maybe we do lettuces or something back here next year. Hey, you little stinker. So these are my spicy peppers. I've got a few different varieties: jalapenos, shishitos, Anaheims, and is that it? Might just be it. Of course, I didn't like label very much. Oh, poblanos, that's the other one. I have to be careful with those plastic labels because she will pull them out and eat them. Because she's basically a velociraptor right now. You can see these guys have been hit real bad with some pest damage. Again, I'm guessing the June bugs are the ones. I haven't actually seen any active pests. It's been very annoying though because I haven't been able to really put anything down. So I do have some diatomaceous earth, but we've had rain almost every single day the last week, 2 weeks. So it's been hard for me to treat anything, but these guys are persevering, so they're doing pretty good. Next to it, we've got this crane here hanging out. We have, oh my gosh, get out. Stop. We've got alyssum with some more oregano, a different variety from the other one, and then some chives. And then this is another first for me this year. I'm doing potatoes. This is Yukon Gem variety. No idea what I'm doing, just following the internet's advice. I planted them. I hilled them up multiple times with soil and straw, so we'll see what happens. And then I've got kind of interspersed some beans, even in here, which you can see we've got flowers on one of them. I heard beans are good companion plants of potatoes, and so we'll see. And then over here we have some sweet peppers varieties. So I've got a couple bell peppers. I've got some like chocolate candy. Geez, I don't remember. It's you can see I've written down a CC for the name tag because it's like some variety. I'll post it on here in the video. And then the couple banana peppers as well. This used to be my cauliflower space until the squirrels decimated it. Again, thanks squirrels. So instead I have planted some more bush beans for another round. And then, I don't know, I may add some more squash plants or something. So I really love squash, but the squash bugs love them more. And so that's why you see just a bunch of different levels of squash plant, because my hope is that I can get some kind of harvest, even if they feast on them. So and then over here is just kind of, again, this is a experimental section. This is some cosmos, some zinnias. Here is like a little patch. This space gets decent afternoon sun, believe it or not, right up against this fence. So we're gonna see how things do here, and then maybe next year put like a bed here would be nice. Underneath the trellis here, we've got some long beans. I'm not sure the variety, but they're gonna grow up. They're pole bean variety though. We've got some squash. This is a honey boat or something like that. I don't know. I'll put the variety on the screen, but I've got some of those planted throughout. This, I believe, is a pumpkin. This was an extra that, again, I lost the label, so whoops. And then I've got some clumps of lettuce, and same thing, I've got some lettuce interspersed here, and then I think that's another pumpkin. We'll see. Last year I tried to plant some different squashes on this, and they got demolished by vine borer, and so we'll see. That's kind of why I'm like loading this up really well. Watch everything grow in just fine, but I'm just trying to plan for the worst, I guess. All right, and then this is a little bed. This bed here is a kind of makeshift bed on the side of our house. It gets a decent amount of sun. Previously, this was like a rock garden. You can see we've got two other ones here. Ferocious puppy. Yeah, you can't get to these plants. Yeah, you can't get to these. But we've got some spinach that this looks like it's probably bolted past its prime. I need to pull it out. We got a squash plant here, either zucchini or yellow squash. I honestly, again, didn't label. I just kind of will wait until it comes in. This is a Swiss chard variety. This is perpetual Swiss chard. I used to have more planted, but they didn't come up. I do have some more seeds starting in my grow room, which you can actually see the laundry room down there. These are supposed to be, it tastes similar to spinach, very heat tolerant, so it's a good variety to plant throughout the summer. You got some really nice looking marigolds. These guys did better than the other ones, which is surprising. Lettuce, so this will be, I'll be coming in and chop this out. This was a cilantro that it reseeded itself from last year, so that was cool. I'm letting it go to seed again. Thought that would be fun. Look at her, such a goofball. And then I did plant some other cilantro. You can see it's already starting to go to seed. So cilantro doesn't stick around for very long when it's hot. I did buy a slow bolt variety, which I have planted, that we looked at over in my other beds, so hoping to see which one does better. This was going to be a pea trellis. You can see I only had one pea for whatever reason. The other ones never came up. So this guy's taking over right now, which is fine. I'm letting it do its thing. Once it gets hot, it's going to peter out anyway. And then I have a couple different varieties of cucumbers. We have Space Master and a lemon cuke, which are like the little tiny yellow ones. They're really good. I like snacking on them. So we'll see how these do. This is new, this kind of trellis setup. I'm thinking this is not going to be tall enough. I think these are 4-foot posts, so maybe next year I'll do a bigger trellis or something. So you can't come out here with me, I'm sorry. And then I had an extra random cherry tomato. This is literally just cherry tomato was the variety on the packet. It came with my green stock a couple years ago. I started some seeds for something else, for somebody else, and then I had an extra, so I went ahead and threw it here just because why not? Wanted to see how things did in the space. Gardening's all about experimenting. And so it's doing okay. I've had to mound up the dirt a little bit. The problem with this bed, because it was originally a bunch of rocks, we did our best to clear out the rocks, but the soil's not going to be as nice as some of the soil in the other spaces. So there's been, I did amend it with compost and all the things to try to make the space better. So yeah, we'll see how this does, and pivot next year. We have some flowers planted next to those too. I think they're calendula maybe. Again, it was kind of randomly placed. I was a little bit more chaotic this year. Not gonna lie, it felt good, but it's very out of the ordinary for me to be chaotic with gardening. So we'll see how things grow in. So this is the last space. I've got some stuff up here on our back deck. It really needs to be drained. Again, all the rain. Got some parsley. Oh boy. Both dogs are out and they've got zoomies. Fun. Okay. So this is some parsley, some mint, which desperately needs to be drained, some patio variety cherry tomatoes. You can see that they are putting on some beautiful tomatoes. These are determinants, which is why we see them up here in cages. And then this is my green stock. Very excited. This is the first year that I planted nothing but strawberries in them. We have 3 different varieties. First 2 are the Alpine variety. You can see they're this kind of small, narrow variety. They are either white. In fact, here's one that's ripe. White or red. These I started from seed last year and they came back, so I was pretty excited to see them come back and overwinter pretty well. And then I've got 2 different varieties here of your more traditional style strawberries that you see in the store, but they are Early Glow Strawberry and, let's see here, Seascape. So the idea is that some of these will come all in at once and the others will kind of come in waves. So I did buy these from a nursery. Shout out to Newtown Orchard Nursery. Thank you, Katie, for hooking me up with some beautiful strawberries. I've already enjoyed some wonderful garden snacks. Looking forward to some more. Thanks again, guys, for hanging in there with my garden tour. I don't know if it was interesting at all. This is my first year doing this. This is my first channel ever, so I just like the idea of having some garden friends to talk to and share my garden stuff, because I get really geeky about it, and yeah, it's nice to have someone listen. So, look at those dogs. They're crazy. They're gonna be so muddy. Anyways, thanks again. Hopefully your garden's going well. Enjoy a little garden snack. Pop a flavor. Until next time, thanks.